I've been a professional speaker for almost 50 years with thousands of speeches all over the world to large and small audiences. And I've known and still know most of the top speakers in the world today. I want you to see what things they do that really pay off and avoid the things that we've all discovered that'll take you way off base. So I've had the privilege of earning the presidency of the National Speakers Association. I was installed as their national president years ago. I've been inducted into the Professional Speakers Hall of Fame. I've received the Golden Gavel Award from Toastmasters International, which is the highest award that they give to non-Toastmasters. I'm not a Toastmaster, not a member, but I received the same award that they had given to Walter Cronkite, Earl Nightingale, Tony Robbins, Zig Ziglar, and many of the big names that we've heard throughout history. I've received Lifetime Achievement Awards. I've got a TED Talk that has garnered 2.8 million views. I've really been able to hit some home runs in the field of professional speaking. And I've written 27 books and traveled all over the world on paid engagements. How can you do that? Well, if that's what you want to do, there are some key decisions you need to make. Number one is you need to determine what is it you have to say that others would benefit from hearing, and then determine how to make it so good it's worth paying to hear. Number two, you need to figure out what your brand identity is going to be. Are you going to be the motivator? Are you going to be the researcher? Are you going to be the author who speaks? Are you going to be the kind and gentle encourager? Are you going to be the wise counsel that sits and pontificates on a subject? What kind of a speaker do you want to be? What's your brand? For me, it's been the acorn. I have acorns on my shelf. I have acorns in my pocket. I do. I have acorns in pretty much everything I do in business because the acorn is a universal symbol for growth and potential. And it's woven into every book I've written, every speech I give, and every way that I express what I'm bringing to the marketplace. Another thing you need to do is determine who is your ideal audience or customer. Are you going to work with people returning from military service? People in the hospital and healthcare field? Students? Are you going to work with people in the entertainment industry? Life insurance, banking, real estate, it goes on another million possibilities, but you need to pick a lane, right? And then you need to know what kind of business model you should be using in the early stages of your own career, because your business model will probably evolve and change over time. What's a business model? A business model is like being a spokesperson for a product line. And every time you give a speech or do a presentation, it's for the purpose of selling that product line. A business model would be motivational speaker for hire. You do motivational, inspirational talks, and you are booking one after another, just like a musician books a performance gig, right? So those are business models. There are also licensing models, and there's 1,000 ways to go about that. And then the final thing you need to determine is what are the operating standards that you're committed to? Are you going to always tell the truth? Are you going to always have a certain level of performance that you require from yourself? Do you have certain standards that are essential to you and your value system that show up in everything else you do in business? So let's walk back through that. Let's say you decide, Jim, what a cool journey you've had. Man, been all over the world, paid to go there. I want to do like that. Well, that's what I did. Years ago, I heard Earl Nightingale, a famous motivational speaker, on the radio. And I said, I want to do what he does, but I didn't know what he did. So I started studying his field, the field of human development. I became fanatical about it. And I started teaching other people's courses. I was a facilitator, basically the teacher, but I had a workbook that I was teaching from. Then I started doing my own research, started developing my own material, started writing my own books. And then I started getting more and more speaking engagements. I've delivered, as I've mentioned many times, 3,500 paid speeches all over the world. How do you get those? One at a time. You get one group that would benefit from your message. You talk with them about the value you can bring. You find the best way to tell them what value you have and how you can get that to their listeners, their audience. How you can help them sell more, how you can help them lead better, serve their customers better, generate more customer loyalty, upsell or upserve in a way that gets a bigger transaction out of every purchase that customers make. There are 1,000 things you could teach. Pick a lane, pick a message, and go after it in a systematic way. And be humble when you start. Don't try to promote yourself as the latest, greatest thing that's been discovered and the world just needs to hear your song. Instead, look for a way to be of service. When people say to me, "What do you do?" I say, I help people grow. And then I immediately start asking them questions. They say, well, boy, what do you mean help people grow? I say, well, nobody's capable yet of all the things that are possible within them. I help them identify what their next levels of development could be and show them shorter, quicker, better ways to get there. Oh, well, could you help well, tell me about your company. You see what I'm doing? I'm getting more and more into their mind. I want to be a good listener and learner, not a good speaker yet, because I don't know what my speech or seminar or training ought to be. Same thing's true for a consultant. What does a consultant need more than anything else? A problem to solve. No problem, no consultant needed, right? If you don't know what they need, you don't know what to bring. So be a student of your customers. Pick a lane and choose what you want to specialize in. Come to me later. I'll show you how to get to the level of top 1% in that field and be the go-to expert. But for now, just pick a lane and a message and start developing the skills, the knowledge, the experience, the connections that you will need to get known in that marketplace. 50 years I've been doing this, almost 50. And what I've found is that I've never, ever wanted to go into a different field. I was fortunate to find my path early on. I didn't know what it was like when I first got interested in it after hearing that radio message from Earl Nightingale. But once I got clear that my field, the field I loved the most, was human development, there was nothing else I wanted to do. So I became a raving fanatic for human development, and it served me well my entire career.